Welcome, everybody. We are actually live. So, my name is Jay Hill, the host,
I'm Kelly Schaefer.
along with Kelly Schaefer, the other host. We
Sorry.
are we are two hosts, um, bringing you a new show called The Cemetery Files. This has been in the making for a while now, and we finally have gotten it together. And I am excited to be able to work with Kelly and to be able to bring everyone some new content and some different things that I haven't really done before, which is live investigations and whatnot. We'll be involved in some paracons as well. We will also have merchandise to sell. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on our plate. So, you know, I want to say thank you, Kelly. And
You're
how are
most.
you doing today? How you doing today, Kelly?
I think I'm much better now that the countdown ended and we're alive.
Right, right, right.
I try
Yeah.
not to get worked up over things. I
Hmm.
let things happen as they happen. So it's been a little bit difficult to keep that status over the last few days because I've been very
Right,
excited.
right. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, this has been in the works for a while, and so a little backstory. I have another show called Studio Six Paranormal Podcast, and I've been doing that for about 3 years now with Shane Feek, my co-host, and things have gone really well. I've interviewed a lot of different awesome people, and it just so happens that in the summertime, Shane has a lot of stuff that he has to do. He's got family, he's got rent fairs, and all this other stuff. And he's
Hiking and camping and
yeah. So I
all
mean,
that fun
which
stuff.
is
Yeah.
fine. So last year we took a break and we kind of I started a new job, and then we went missing. And then when I we came back in the fall, everybody was like, "Where the hell did you go?" And it was, so I didn't want to be out of the limelight. I like to do what I do, and I didn't want to pause it for 3 months. But I needed that 3 months last time because sometimes you have to step away from social media because social media can just suck the life right out
Oh,
of you.
yeah. I shut down my social media on Sundays. Sundays, I try
Yeah,
not to answer anybody and not to do too much because it's just like I need a break.
right. Oh, no wonder you were ignoring me. No, just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, so
I get
yeah,
a little growly.
yeah. So yeah, it's the 3 months was good for me. I reconnected with some people and things like that. So it was good, but I didn't want to disappear this summer. So when I was on a podcast with two mediums to go with
Yes,
Wendy and Chuck,
Wendy and Chuck.
very wonderful people, and they were so pleasant to talk to. And I really just I had a great time on the show, and then come to find out that Kelly was on their show,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, they're very, very dear friends of mine. And when
yeah,
they started their broadcast, they asked if I would be their first guest, and I said yes.
and that alone is awesome because checking out that podcast and it was really cool, and I had wanted to basically have another show, and I was kind of trying to figure out, what show could I do a little bit differently than I did with the last one that I still have. But and then I saw Kelly's picture, and Spirit basically said to me, "Yeah, you need to contact her." So so
Yes,
I did, and to my surprise, you did reply back, and you basically, were really interested in it. Whereas, and there had been another person or somebody that I was trying to contact, and it just didn't feel right. But then when I basically had gotten to talk to you, and it was just everything just clicked,
yeah,
and
everything happens for
so
a reason.
right, right. So I was really glad, that we were able to connect and come up. We have some great ideas, and like especially tonight, I have a live investigation um, not too far from my house at a bar and grill, and I don't know very much about it. I knew. actually, I did know that it was one of my wife's stomping grounds when she was in her 20s.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
Very, very cool.
yeah. So yeah, she at that time, this was this was a while ago, so she knew the previous couple previous owners, and she had lots of friends there and stuff like that. So she, when you're in your 20s, you're kind of sowing your oats and you're doing your thing, and
Yeah,
you know,
I'd like to have my 20s back. My 20s and my 30s.
yeah,
My 30s would be great.
yeah. My 20s were okay, um, but it was just I didn't really seriously start partying until I was in my 30s, and that didn't even last that long. But it was just yeah. When you visit, places like that, like you go to certain like there's bars and stuff or places that you go to hang out with people or whatever, that's where you kind of build the memories and you know the good times of things and like I said, I've
Right.
never been in this place before and I actually have I work as a cook. I work in a private country club. So I have a that we hired somebody that worked at this bar and grill and my coworkers and my boss used to go there to hang out and to drink and to socialize and this and that. Well, they became friends with one of the very good cooks there, and they said, "Hey, if you want to, type of a different job or whatever, you can, come work with us." And
Yeah.
he decided to come work with us, and it was great because immediately, I connected with him, and he's a good friend, and I admire him, and he's a great cook, and something basically kind of told me ask him about the bar and I asked him, I said, so is there been activity there? And he wasn't quite sure what I meant. I said paranormal activity. He's like, oh yeah, so he had stories of things happening there and I was kind of like, okay, well, would you be interested in investigating it with me? And he was like, really? And he was all excited, so we set it up like 3 weeks ago. The owners are really cool about it. Today they're closed on Monday, so it's easy for us just to go in there,
Nice.
and nobody's going to be there. And you know, we'll have this investigation from probably 8 to midnight, and we may not even go that long. But that's just a time frame that I set. So yeah, it's going to be a good time, and it's and Kelly, who did the research for this place, and she has got a lot of research on it. Yeah. So there's a lot of different things that I'm looking forward to.
Well, the thing that
That
I can't help you with is I've got it up to from 1975 on back to 1910. I don't know who owned it. I'd have to
hmm
physically go in and look at records to find out who owned it.
Oh, okay,
And that's probably just because records haven't been digitized.
right, right, yeah. Well,
But
I
I got
mean,
some interesting stuff on the property.
yeah, and I know, and just to kind of clarify, so, this is a Q&A kind of a session. People get to know us. I mean, I'm not really expecting too many people to show up. I would like some people to show up so that we can converse back and forth.
I
But
would
I
like
mean,
thousands
um,
of people to show up.
I would love thousands of
Right?
people.
Just
But
shoot for the moon, Jay.
right,
Shoot
yeah,
for the moon.
right. So,
It is
um,
full moon. We can do that.
right. So people who have seen, we have somebody that does a little bit of our advertisement type stuff that promotes our stuff.
Oh, you mean our
Um,
social media person?
yes, our social media person. We have a social media person, which I never had before, which is so cool because before I would do everything myself, and it was very
Isn't she a
overwhelming.
blessing?
Chelsea is a very big blessing,
Chelsea
and
is just
so
awesome.
yes, and so
She
she
keeps us
does
on
great
track and
work.
everything.
Yeah, she does great work, and so I'm looking forward to continue working with her and whatnot. But
We should put her logo or something up as an affiliate or whatever.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
you
she'd
know,
get more
and
business, and we
yeah,
wouldn't have so much. She'd leave us alone, and she would
yeah,
forget that we exist, and
right,
you know,
right, right.
we'd go to her
So yeah,
Christmas parties and hug her, and she'd go, "Oh, who's you?"
right. Yeah, so having people show up, that'd be great. But I understand it. It is a Monday, and it's people work, and this is fine. So, but also, this is just for people to get to know us. And people
Mhm.
who don't know who I am. I'm you know my original production company that I'm working on getting LLC'd is the Studio Six Paranormal Production, which I'm thinking about just switching it to Studio Six Productions because I kind of want to encompass that whole thing
Keep it
underneath.
simple.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, just keep it
So,
simple. Chelsea says
but
thanks.
yeah. So, and the funny thing is though, I have to make sure that nobody has that, and I know that overseas there is a six, Studio Six, but it's the number six, and that's
Right,
why I did the SIX because it was something different. So
right.
you know, I I wanted to I want to be able to kind of have that our stuff under that umbrella, and just so it's just nice to have, and I
Mhm.
know that other events that we'll do, and we could showcase other things, and I'm sure that Chelsea would be more than happy to help us with that as well. So yeah,
And
I'm
you'll have
looking
to teach
forward
me
to
how to do
that.
lives because I've never done a live investigation. Although there's been
Yeah.
locations that would be perfect for it. I'm thinking the Gaines house in July might be a perfect opportunity to do that.
Okay. Yeah, there's some properties around us here too, and then I'm sure that there's plenty where you're at.
Oh yeah,
I'm in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and Kelly, you're in
I'm in Portland, Tennessee,
Portland, Tennessee.
Middle
Okay, so
Tennessee. I'm 15 miles from the border of Kentucky, and about
okay,
40 from Nashville, 40, 45, somewhere around in there.
okay.
Hi Dan, how are you?
Hey, Dan.
Do you know Dan? I don't know Dan.
Oh, Dan is a good friend of mine.
Good,
Dan is with Expedition Entity, and they're on Paraflix.
cool.
So yeah, yeah, I've hung out with Dan. He's showed me some of the hot spots, places in Illinois. So yeah, he's an
Yeah, I
awesome
got one
guy.
coming up. I got one coming up. I think it's either in Illinois or let me look. Where's my calendar? Yeah, I've got one coming up at the on the 24th. I'm going to be doing a joint investigation with RKB Paranormal at the United Methodist Village.
Hmm. Wow, that's cool.
And that's a huge property. It's just enormous. I don't even have the location on here. I think it's in Illinois. Yeah. But the one thing great about that investigation is we're going to be spending the night in actually 2 nights in an Airbnb that I looked at and went,
Hmm.
"Oh, that's haunted." And
Yeah.
and Damien contacted the owner and said, "Hi, do you got an activity? Is it haunted?" And she goes, "I am not going to say either way, but my sister
Right.
thinks that it is." So we're going to be staying in a haunted Airbnb.
Okay.
So it's a two for one investigation. We're gonna do United Methodist, and then we're gonna do the Airbnb.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So
it'll be a
so Dan
great.
yeah, so Dan said I'm stuck at work today. Just wanted to say hello. You guys have a great day. Thanks, Dan. We really appreciate it.
We do.
Yeah, Dan is a really cool guy. Yeah, and like I said,
Well, I
I'll
can't wait to meet
even I'll even promote his stuff because they're on Paraflix. I'm friends with Natalie Jones, the CEO of Paraflix, and Dan showed the Expedition Entity with Larry and Jenny and Steve and um, um, her last name's Dalton, but she's also a researcher. She's very good. So yeah, check it out, people. It's a really good uh, paranormal show. They've won awards, So yeah,
Oh,
I'm really,
nice.
yeah, I'm pleased to know that these guys are out there putting out good content, and I've hung out with them, and they're a bunch of great guys. So you know, but just like in the paranormal field, there's a lot of people out there that are just kind of, they can do so much more. I've known some people that are just behind the curtains that do some really good stuff, but they just don't want to. They don't want to have that be in the time, the limelight, so
Mhm.
to speak. So, which I get, but there's other people out there in the paranormal field that I have heard of that are all about the fame and the glitz and this and that, and that's it is what it
Yeah,
is. You know,
there's a lot of people that are out there for the fame, and when I started doing podcasts, I'm like, okay, am I going down that road? Because it's not
right?
really what I want to do.
Hmm.
I just want to bring um, notoriety to the field and the locations and
Hmm.
what's there rather than myself and my team.
Correct.
And if I
Correct.
have to be the face of that and the voice of that, then I'm fine with that.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's what it is. I mean, like I said, the paranormal field is basically it's like a big family. I started seriously investing time in this, 4 or 5 years ago, and I just I've met some great people. I've interviewed some great people, and people that I never thought I would be able to interview. But I've also ran into people that just aren't they're kind of missing the mark, But
Right.
you know, kudos to them. They do what they want to do, But anyways, so people who know me know that I have my show and from the Studio Six Paranormal podcast, and I've had it for 3 years. I'm also a psychic medium. I'm gifted. I do walkthroughs for people like paranormal teams that need a medium. Um, I don't advertise myself per se. I'm more of a word of a mouth, but um, so having Kelly work with me is also a blessing in its way because of the fact that she is you know a researcher extent. I mean, she does a lot of good research and she invests the time, which I love research too. But
And I have business sense.
yes, and she has business sense, which not that I don't have business sense, but I just don't have time to do
Right.
all that. You know what I
My
mean?
head's
And
constantly thinking business.
right, right. So, and that's why I look forward to some of the stuff that we're going to investigate and research in the future. We're going to basically be doing some investigations, and we're going to be doing trying to go to Paracons and to meet new people and to sell some merch and to try to make some positive moves in this field, and so that we can also meet other new people and other ideas. And so I'm really looking forward to this, but this is going to be a big deal for us, and
Yeah.
we
And
both know it's coming. you know
well, the thing that I'm looking forward to is just bringing people together, just being that
hmm.
platform that people can come together on, because there's this big and it started several years ago, but I'm starting to see more momentum on it. Is the unity of
Hmm.
all the teams, and much more these days. I'm seeing where locations are not. That's my location rather than, or
Right.
it's my location and nowadays it's like please come investigate,
Right.
please come,
Hmm.
and they're being much more open about letting other teams in. I don't care who owns the location, just let me in,
Hmm.
just let
Hmm.
me in to investigate. I love it.
Right. Right. I mean, and that is basically, excuse me, the crux of things lately is everybody is, there's a lot of people who are buying properties that are, have claimed active paranormal and or active paranormal activity, and that's fine if you want to do that. Um, it's just the fact that there's a few that I've seen, and I'm not mentioning any names or anything, but some of the fees that they charge to have investigators investigate is just astronomical. You know?
Well, that and it's contrived evidence.
Yeah.
It's not actual verified evidence.
Right.
And when you pay that much to go into a location like that and you end up with falsified information, it's just no.
Right. 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 So
No.
I mean,
I don't go to haunted houses. I
it's
go to
right.
haunted locations.
Hmm. Right. and I've
Locations that exhibit paranormal activity. There's a better way of putting it.
right. Yeah. Yeah, there's a place that I went up to here in Wisconsin called Broadhead, Wisconsin. It's an old high school that is now being converted basically into a haunted location. There's been a Paracon that I went to recently, um, and the owner Bill is a fantastic guy, and he's invested a lot of time in that building and a lot of the events and stuff like that. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what he has in the future as well. And actually, my cousin, who is a lot older than I am,
Careful with that lot odor.
I'm gonna, yeah, no, she's in her 80s, but
Okay, yeah,
she went to high school there
that'll
back in
work.
the day, so this is, so it's kind of funny. She sent me a message when I was there at Broadhead there was a Paracon there I was visiting, and she said, "Don't you know I went to high school there?" And I'm like, so yeah. So, it's there's some really cool places. There's also other places. We were going to do some research on the Waverly Hills, and
Yes.
and that's not that it's out of the realm now, but it's just the fact that there's been some things that have been going on with there that it's kind of like waiting for the dust to kind of settle. But I really like that place. I would love to visit. Um, we started doing some research. We kind of put that on the back burner, but
Yeah.
there's so many ideas that we have that I really am looking forward to. Like, we're trying to basically have uh, we want to be able to kind of do a series on certain things where it can be 1 to 3 episodes of a certain location or a story, or and part of the reason why we're doing cemetery files is because of the fact that we're trying to connect some of these people who have passed with locations and information that they're in, and we want to find their truths, and we want to find the accurate information and the accurate history, because there's so much history that's just been either misspoken or just flat out not true you
Did I
know
tell you that there's a cemetery down the street from the place that you're investigating tonight?
yes, it is.
Did I tell you that your subjects are in that cemetery?
Yeah. Oh, I kind of figured as much.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and
I won't tell
yeah.
you who they are.
Oh, yeah. 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 No. No. Yeah. I know. I know that the spirits there, the male and female, and he doesn't quite. He's still not liking the idea, and I and
No,
it,
no.
no, and
He didn't like the idea that I was researching it either.
no,
Yeah.
he didn't even like the idea. I mean, he knows that I've looked into it a couple times, and
Well,
he's
I think it's probably based on their I just found out what their religion was just yesterday. And I think it might be a religious base as to why his he's not in liking this
right,
stuff.
right, which is fine. But I mean that it's and when I investigate, and when everybody investigates, in certain haunted locations, it should be about respect. It should be about
Mhm.
keeping, keeping yourself, you know, in a proper way to not offend, and
Right.
and especially when we, having the show called Cemetery Files, it's just like going into a cemetery. Number one, you respect the deceased that are in
Mhm.
that cemetery. Number two, don't ever take anything from a cemetery.
Nope.
And I ran into
Don't mess with coins on the grave,
I had
yeah.
a friend that took a stone from a Salem cemetery, just a rock, just something by it, and I was like, why did you do that? And after that, I think she had like two flights that were canceled when she was on her back to Wisconsin, and things after one thing after another were happening. I'm like, not to say that necessarily is the reason, but it begs the question. It could be, but I've heard other stories of people, have taken stuff from cemeteries and bad
Well, it
things
would
have
be the
happened.
first thing on the list for you to get rid of and take care of to see if it's what is causing the activity. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, and I told her a while ago. I said, yeah, if whenever you get back to Salem, return that rock or return
Mm-hmm.
that piece or whatever. It's just, and even I was watching a show, Ghost Hunters. Okay,
Yes,
the newest one
the newer ones.
with
Yeah.
Jason Hawes and
Mm-hmm.
Steve and Tango and
Oh,
Sherry and
they're bringing back
yeah,
all the old cast.
right. And I really like these guys. And they had an episode where they had um, Satori and Cody,
Cody, yeah.
um, and Satori is Jason Hawes' daughter, on, and they had a really neat way of doing, trying to get the communication, which they basically um, had. They were doing the alphabet test, and I don't know if you saw that.
Ooh, yeah.
That
I've
was
done the
really
alphabet before.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I don't think I wouldn't do that. I mean, I think that that's kind of their thing, and so I wouldn't step on their toes like that. But I just thought it was really cool. Well, they were talking about this house that these two gentlemen had this paranormal stuff in this house, and all of a sudden, and they were getting more information, and so Cody and Satori basically were finding out that somebody took dirt from somebody's grave,
Mm-hmm.
and he was not happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he was asked about it in the reveal, um, he said, "Yeah, we actually did." And it's like, "Yeah, don't do that."
Yeah, don't do that.
It's
Don't
just
do that.
it's
No.
even if it's just something simple. It's just about respect the dead. I mean, I can't bring that home enough. It's just and talking
I'm
about
going to be cremated, so if you want to take my dirt someplace, please do.
yeah. Well, and that is well, look who it is.
We have other. Oh my God! It's Wendy. Ah! I knew you'd be
Hey,
here.
Wendy. Yeah. She said she was gonna watch. So yeah. So yeah.
She's going to be
So
our guest. She's going to be our
yeah,
guest.
she's gonna be a
Week
guest.
3.
Is it week 3?
Week
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, everybody. We have some events and some things happening. We're planned about a month ahead.
Yep.
We haven't gotten too far ahead because we know how sometimes people can have other things and obligations and can cancel. Not necessarily last minute, but so we don't like to go too far ahead. But I think we're as as far as we want to be. But we do have some cool stuff coming.
We do. You
Mm-hmm.
want me to give the schedule?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
All right, here, wait. Chuck and I can't wait. Yeah.
Yay! I love it. All right. So we got the week 1 where we're doing it right now.
Right.
And then week 2 is going to be the evidence reveal from your live investigation, where we actually go through the list of things that we found that were good.
Right.
And then
does that mean do I have to look at all my evidence and look at all film and all that stuff? I actually have to do some work.
You actually have to do some work. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it for you because I have a stack this huge.
Right.
I've got evidence review from 3 locations right now, and it's like,
oh, so you're behind. I haven't
it.
even done mine yet, and you're already 3 investigations behind.
Yeah, I've got see, we did the Morrison Masonic Lodge. I did that with Damien and his crew at RKB. So I've got that one still left to do. I've got Octagon House from when we did our first couples hunt, where we just had couples. Everybody had a partner already, and everybody just went out and investigated. So I've got evidence from that to review. And then I just went and did the Walton Hotel on Hauntings on Main Street in Carthage, Tennessee.
Nice.
So I've got that evidence review, but that's only audio, so that'll be fine.
Yeah.
But the other 2 have audio and visual that I have to go through, and it's like, oh, I hate it. I hate evidence review because you're tied to a chair. Right, it's not like you can walk around and view it. And all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Ready to do the clips and very,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
so yeah.
Okay.
So then,
So
yes. So
continue with your list.
week
Continue.
3 is going to
Okay.
be Chuck and Wendy of Two Mediums to Go. Very, very dear
Okay.
friends of mine that are mediums.
Hmm.
They're running their own podcast, and they've got services including Reiki and readings and all kinds of different things. They're good people. And then
Yeah, you
number,
want to check that out, folks, because these
yeah,
people are fantastic.
they are fantastic. And then Damien of RKB is going to be our guest on week 4. And
RKB.
that's
Yeah,
what we have
I
planned so
just
far.
shared one of their events or one of their pages. I think on the Cemetery Files. So yeah,
Good.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to be a lot of fun. I
Mhm.
it's going to be fun to have him on the other side of the microphone because he had me on his side of the microphone for a while.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I
All
was
right.
his host. Let's see, I was his. Was it the first episode of his second season? I think is the one that
Hmm.
I was on. It was like my first real podcast.
Right. Well, why don't we, when you're talking about being on a podcast,
Yeah.
why don't you talk a little bit about yourself and
Oh, me.
your team?
Let's see. I've been an investigator since 2010. And my first investigation was of the Phoenix Theater in Petaluma, California, when I lived there. I hunted with Amy Bruni on that one and learned a lot. And at
She
that,
is fantastic
she
too.
is, I love her. I totally love her. She is a
Hmm.
native of Petaluma, California, where I was living for 20 years. And
Hmm.
I get a kick out of her. She's very nice. She is as nice in person as she is on television. And I'm sure she's got a mean streak, but I really don't care.
Well,
She's
who doesn't?
an individual. Yeah. So I learned a lot from her, and at that investigation I decided, yeah, this is what I want to do. And then in
Hmm.
2018, after got done settling from losing my house in the Tubbs fire in California, I decided that I was going to be a full-time quote unquote K2 in the back pocket investigator. And
Nice.
so I bought all the equipment that I wanted, and here I am.
Right.
And so now that I'm in Tennessee, I've put primarily my focus on historic hauntings, which takes a lot of what we're doing here in the show by taking the historic facts of the property and the historic people of the property and connects them to what the haunting is.
Hmm.
And I really enjoy doing that. I've got the one of the prizes that I have is with the Octagon Hall. I was down in the basement and I caught an EVP of a woman saying Elizabeth. And
Hmm.
Elizabeth is the name of the child that had died in the dress fire incident.
Oh, wow.
And she wasn't panicked when she did it, so it must have been some time before the whole accident.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I focus on historic hauntings. I will lose myself in a rabbit hole faster than anybody else. Tell me
Hmm.
something you want researched, I will go research it and I'll have a blast doing it. Going
Hmm.
into a library and going through books and all that kind of stuff, that's home to me.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
investigating, I'm trying out an idea with the couples hunt. We're doing the second one at the Gaines house in July, and we're having just couples and seeing what that energy does to the property. In At Octagon Hall, it was really neat having the couples energy in there instead of people that are scattered all over the place.
Right.
It's really nice. I
Hmm.
enjoy it, and I like
Well,
hanging out with couples too because
right.
it's
Right.
yeah,
Well, that's awesome. I
yeah,
mean, once you get to be able to mingle with other people, especially when you've got, investigations, and there's nothing like a good investigation that can't bring together some cool people.
right, yeah.
So
I investigated my house before I bought it.
and
There is nothing here, thank goodness, because I didn't want any competition for when I died, because I intend to haunt it.
nice. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Is this house empty? Yeah. And
Yeah,
the
this
house
house is empty.
my house is empty as well. I
Although
don't
I
know.
have had some strange events over the last few days. I actually audibly heard some mumble mumbly type words. It was like 2 syllables repeated. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And I'm looking all over the house, seeing if there's any windows open. There's no windows open. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is just weird. So maybe I had somebody passing through. I don't know.
No, I was just gonna say that it was just a passer through, or
I'm thinking it was somebody that was just passing through.
which
I've had
happens.
that before
Yeah,
though. I've
yeah, I
I've
have
had
too.
another incident where I was coming into my bedroom and I heard a man's voice say, "Well, there you are." And I'm like, "What the?" I've had people
And
pass.
then you said, "No, I'm not. I'm
No,
out."
I'm not. I'm not here. No, I'm not here. I'm not here. I'm not here.
Right,
Go
right.
away.
So, talking about houses and stuff.
Yeah.
I've every house that I've lived in, and I've moved a lot, and most, I would say 90% of them had something, and
Of the
I'm
houses
glad
you've
that
lived in?
the houses that I've lived in have had 90% have always had something.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
I could go through the list and show.
oh
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
minimum for me, it's 3.
Mhm, mhm.
One, I knew who it was.
So here's Bill Walter. Um, he's the owner
Hi,
of
Bill.
Broadhead Manor. Okay,
He's
and
what?
yeah, Broadhead Manor. He's the owner
Oh, okay. Ooh,
of the
Broadhead
high school.
Manor.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
I
It's
like
actually that old high school. So yeah, it's a fantastic building, and they're working on right now of trying to
I think that's
raise,
one that's even on my list.
raise some funds to replace the roof. The roof is
Okay.
in dire need of repair, so they're trying to get some funds for that. So I think that they have a thing. I'm not sure, but yeah. So if you look up Broadhead Manor on Facebook, you'll be able to see it. And if there's a link that you want to, anybody that wants to help out, then by all
Is
means.
there a link on the site to
I
donate?
think there is.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm not sure, but I think there is. Yeah. So yeah, there's some great properties in Wisconsin,
Oh,
without a doubt.
there's
You
some
know.
really great properties all over the East Coast out
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Um, I'm I loved investigating on the West Coast. There are some really great areas that touch the time periods that I enjoy. I
Hmm.
love
Hmm.
the whole Oregon Trail story and all the history that goes along with that. But moving out here to where the Civil War was and the Revolutionary War, that to me is just gold. I love it.
Right. Right. Oh
Well, my
yeah.
first full-bodied apparition was a cemetery here in Tennessee,
Oh wow.
and it wasn't in the cemetery, it was outside the cemetery.
He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna hang outside the
Yeah, I'm just
cemetery
gonna
for a
hang out
while.
here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sitting there and they're doing a spirit box, and I'm on the fence about spirit boxes, but I was
Hmm.
listening to it and I'm just gazing off down the field and I'm seeing what appears to be fire coming up out of the ground,
Oh yeah, you were telling me
like
about that.
bonfires, yeah,
Hmm.
and nobody else was seeing them, so I'm like, "Okay, this is a little weird." And then out of one of the fires walks this guy, and I'm like, "Oh, is that guy gonna put the fire out?" And I'm like, and then I realized, "Oh crap, there's only half of him."
Oh yeah.
He was not visible from the knees on down,
Oh
and he
wow.
was striding across. Oh boy, I was up and moving as
I
fast as
bet. I bet. Now you talk about California. Have you been to the Whaley House?
the witch,
The Whaley House in California?
the Willie House,
The Whaley House in
Wheelie
San
House.
Diego?
No, 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 no. I
Okay,
never got down to San Diego.
that was featured on an episode, a couple
Was
different
that the?
shows.
There
On
was one that was on Ghost Hunters where they faked evidence.
that I don't
The
know.
owners of the building were trying to create something that wasn't there.
No, the Whaley House was actually featured on the Holzer Files with Dave Schrader.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that where he actually got shoved, and
Oh,
it was on.
nice.
It's on film. Yeah, it's actually. Yeah, I was taking pictures in the very same spot that he was shoved, and I wanted to see if I can't feel that energy. The history of the Whaley House is. Yeah, it was
I know of
fantastic.
the Willie House.
Yeah,
I never got down there.
yeah, and it's really pretty cool. I really liked it.
Although
And
when you start
so.
talking about people getting shoved down the stairs, you heard about my newest investigator, didn't you?
Uh-uh.
My newest investigator on her first investigation, we went to Carthage for the hauntings on Main Street, and we stayed in the Walton Hotel overnight. And as
Uh-huh.
we were leaving the hotel, I was in front going down the stairs, and she was behind me. And I turned around and looked, and she's coming down the stairs head first.
Oh.
And she ended up breaking her ankle, and we had to take her to the hospital for surgery. And she's got plates and screws in her foot now. But
Uh-huh.
I found it very interesting that it was on that same staircase in the same area that people report the feelings of being pushed. She
Really?
says she has no memory of how she ended up going down the stairs.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I found it interesting. I don't know if it has anything related to it. I'm not going to say, but I found it interesting.
Huh.
So,
Wow. That's
so the Walton
crazy.
House, be a little careful.
Yeah.
The Walton Hotel, I guess, is what it is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For some reason,
Yes.
let's see here. I get logged out of my chat.
I and then I think you need to check your microphone, because I don't think your microphone's working. I think we're just catching your voice from your computer or your phone or whatever it is.
Hmm. Yeah, this is not boding well with me.
Uh-oh.
So, can you hear me though?
I
I
can
mean,
hear you. Yes.
okay, okay.
I can hear you. It's just sometimes I can't hear you all the way. It's not clear.
Huh.
I'm trying to get in. Let's see. Where is the chat? Yeah, I'm not even seeing chat over here. I had it
Yeah,
before.
I don't know why
Oh, there's
either.
chat. Bill says yes, Kathy. No, it's
Yeah,
Kathy.
he
I
said
get
he.
Kathy all the time. So didn't have glasses on. He says we have a lot at Broadhead Manor. I can hear him fine. Okay, great. Okay. The pushing. All right.
Yeah,
Oh wow, look at all that chat. Ah.
yeah, and I can't even get in to get it. Uh, oh my goodness. Why
Spirits
are you?
reside there. A lot of passer throughs. I've got the passer throughs. And that's fine. If they want to pass through, that's fine. Okay. Wendy says that she can hear me just fine. Can you hear? Okay. She can hear me just fine. She didn't say anything about you. You're in the ditch, dude.
uh,
Oh, a female. Okay. Well, interesting enough, there is a female on that stairs. When we first went in, I looked at the staircase and I said, "Tell me who's on the stairs." And the other people who knew the property were telling me about the woman that's on the stairs. And it was, yeah, more than likely I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to say it was interesting, and it's even more interesting that it was okay, she can hear you fine too.
okay,
So
okay.
I found it interesting that it was a female energy that was supposed to be on the stairs, and that Wendy picked that up, and Gina had fallen, and yeah, it's just interesting. There's no evidence, there's no proof, but it's just interesting, which is what
Hmm.
a lot of what we do is. It's like all the personal experiences that we have. We can't say that that's evidence of a haunting because there's no evidence of it.
Right, right.
But that's one thing that's kind of neat about connecting the history of the property to the location.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it was the Walton Hotel, Wendy, in Carthage, Tennessee.
So if anybody has any questions, as I'm trying to reconnect my chat here,
I
if
can
you have
see
any
the chat.
questions, yeah, if you have any questions for Kelly, please, by all means, ask away.
In the meantime, it's dead air. No.
No dead air.
Oh, yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to this investigation in June. At the end of the June, it's 23rd through the 25th. We'll be gone, and the property is thousands of square footage. It's going to be a great experiment with my 4 cameras, setting them up and seeing what we can do. I like how you explained it, Kelly. That's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting in that it makes you think about what's going on, but it's absolutely no proof of what's going on. Oh, Wendy wants me to talk about my book.
Yeah, talk about your book.
I
Oh,
got a book
everybody who
coming
doesn't
out.
know, Kelly is an author. So
I am an
sorry,
author.
Kelly.
And this year I decided to hop back on the train of passion for writing. And I decided that I started out trying to write and nothing would stick to the paper. It'd get to 2.5 pages and it'd stop. And I'm like, I was lamenting to my friend Jim. I said, I can't, I don't know what it is. I know there's a book in me. I know it's there, but I can't get it out on paper. And he says, well, why don't you take all your experiences with the paranormal and put them into a book? I'm like, a book of short stories? And he goes, yeah. I said, oh my God. And that's when it all lit up. Hold on, I got a cough. It all lit up for me, and as soon as he issued the title, he wanted it called My Paranormal Pages, but I like The Paranormal Pages. So it's 24 short stories of things that have actually happened to me. Not much of it has been dramatized. It's as it happened, as I remember it, and it goes clear back to when I was maybe 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be neat to have a volume 2 of it, because then I can write other people's stories. But there was one story that was supposed to be in the book that'll probably end up being her own book because she needs it. Yeah, it'll be available probably. I'm looking at having it published before the end of the first quarter in 2024. Right now it's in editing.
Oh. Wow, you're busy.
Let's see. Bill says, did that come up on it? No, maybe not. Bill says, we have documented a lot and have proof, but it's not documented. It's interesting. That's correct. Yep. So hopefully at the podcast we're going to be going. I'll have the book when it's published, and we'll do signings and stuff. We'll sign posters. How's that?
Yeah.
We're working on what things are going to look like. We did a t-shirt design a couple of days ago. That's really cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Nice and simple.
Let's see.
So did you get your stuff figured out over there?
Almost.
Okay. Goodness
Tuesday.
gracious. Technical difficulties. Yeah, leave the person who doesn't like to talk.
Yeah, well.
It's always weird. People want me on podcasts and I don't like to talk. After I get done talking, I have to I have to shut down. Go into my room, read something. Yeah. Of course, it's all my rooms these days. I got 3 bedrooms in the house and they're all full of my stuff.
Yeah, Google makes you verify everything.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, come on.
Well, at least you don't have a firstborn child you have to give them. I have a firstborn child I have to give them when I have to verify things.
There we go. Finally back in. Thank you very much. Verify this and verify that. And yeah, so. So I have a little bit of a story.
Oh, cool. I like stories.
A lot of people who know me know that I have some health issues, especially with my pancreas, because it just likes being a bitch every once in a while. It's a little bit of pancreatitis, other things, but I digress. So I basically had to go to the ER the other night, and I had to, get some treatment for my pain, and I went in there, and Do you hear that echo?
I do now. Yeah. How about now?
No.
Okay.
See, that's me. I don't. Oh, this is so annoying. Okay. Anyways, I digress. So
Bill says there's no echo on that side.
okay, it must be just me. That's fine. So I'm basically in this hospital bed, in the ER, and I'm trying to, um, get my pain taken care of. I'm getting kind of hooked up and all this other stuff, and I sensed something in the room, and it was, God, I don't know how to describe it, but it was different. So I noticed, I noticed, there was a phone on the counter, and the phone basically went off, like there was a voice that came through. There was a nurse there, and then there was somebody, and there was the nurse that was taking my blood, and they were like thinking that somebody was on a call, and they were like, hello, but there was nobody there, but I heard a voice, and so did they. And so I'm dealing with my pain issues, and I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, why is this really happening now when I'm going through this? I'm like, so fast forward a little bit, I kind of felt that there was something going on in the room, and I'm just trying to deal with my pain issues and this and that. So probably about 15, 20 minutes later, my lights in the room, in my emergency room, in my little cubicle room, shut off.
Oh, weird.
And in order to shut these lights off, they have to click off. And I heard a click, but I wasn't for sure if that's what it was, if it was me or if it was, like I pushed a button or something, but they're not controlled by the button. So I pushed my call button. This nurse came in, and she was trying to figure out what was going on. And I said, my lights just shut off. So she's like, oh, they're off, but they were on 5 minutes ago. And so she had to physically turn them back on. I'm like, okay. So, and then after that, after the other nurse came in, and I was getting my meds, and she's, giving me my pain meds. And so I'm kind of like, okay, this is the one thing that I realized, that I was always worried that because of the fact that if I was under, narcotic medication or something like that, when I was having, pain issues or whatever, I was in the ER, that it would interfere with my gifts.
Mm-hmm.
It would kind of make me foggy. Not the case.
No, it's not the case.
No, I
No.
was worried
No,
about
it
that.
makes it even worse.
I could finally put
Mm-hmm.
that bug to rest, because no, because when I was talking to the nurse, and we were talking a little bit about the paranormal and stuff and this and that, and it came out that I'm a psychic medium and this and that. She was like, really? Wow, that's really cool. And then the question that people ask, well, what do you see around me? And I'm like, okay, so, which is fine, but I'm still heavily inebriated because the pain meds are now starting to work.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting there and I'm laying there, and I'm like, okay. And then it was like somebody flicked on a switch, and all of a sudden I got this picture, or this image of a lily flower,
Oh,
a white
wow.
lily. And I was talking to the nurse, and I said, okay. I said, so I keep seeing this flower, this white lily. And I said, I'm not quite sure what it was. But I felt this energy. And she said, without me saying anything, she said, my daughter, who was 10, passed away 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I felt really bad for her. And her name was Lila.
Oh,
Yeah. So I was getting
nice.
this lily, but
I think Lila is spelled kind of similar, because I had a boss who was named Lila, and people kept calling her Lily.
yeah. So
Because
maybe that's what it was, that she was called Lily, but it was Lila. I think it was Lila that she said.
Yeah.
And so her spirit came through, and she's, here I am, look at me, I'm the
Wow.
life of the party. So I just basically described her and to her, and she said, "Oh, that's totally her." And I said, there is a message in there, but you got to give me a minute because I'm still heavily inebriated right now.
Right.
So, but I said, okay. I said, do you have an event coming up? And this nurse was like, I think she says a celebration or something. She says, oh, I have a graduation. I said, oh, okay. I said, and you have two other kids? And she's like, yeah. And I said, one of them's graduating? Yeah. And so she said, oh, the message is that your daughter will be there.
Oh, cool.
And she was like, and she wondered, and I said, and she wants me to basically let you know that she's very happy, very pleased. She's with grandma, which has passed. And she said, yeah, her grandmother passed. And she said, that's who she's with. And,
That's so cool.
and I said, so she was just like, and I said, oh, and she'll let you know when you come back from the event or the graduation, and at your house, you're having a bunch of people there. She will let you know that she's there also. And I said, I'm not privy to what, but you will know right away what it is. And she was like, and she said, thank you. She says, and she was, getting teary eyed. She's like, I'm supposed to be helping you because I'm laying in a hospital bed. I'm hooked up with IV, and I've got my medicine in me. And I said, when a message comes through that needs to come through, my gifts don't stop. If I needed to go through that pain and to experience this, to deliver you a message, then that's what I had to do,
Mhm.
So she was just she was very happy, very pleased. And,
That's awesome.
there was a few other things that she confirmed and this and that, but all in all, it was just, that was a first for me, you know,
Wow.
doing a spot, on the spot reading when I'm inebriated with pain meds in the hospital, laying there, so yeah. But she was super nice about it. She was really cool.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, so
Wow.
it's
Yeah,
like,
I'm nowhere near that point anymore. I know.
yeah,
No. Yeah, I'm easing into the whole. I prefer to call myself a Claire than a medium because I don't like going between people. I'd rather just talk about what it is that I see and feel. And because I did one delivery of a message from a spirit to a person, and it was just freaky weird for me.
hmm yeah, it's your steps.
Hmm.
It's your path, it's your steps, and
Yeah,
and
it'll
that's
be what
totally
it is.
fine.
Yeah,
Right.
it'll be what it is.
You
They
know.
talk to me when I'm researching them. That's for darn sure.
hmm Yeah.
There was
Oh.
there was one time I was
That's
researching
and,
this
and
one
and
guy.
that's your
Huh?
connection. That's your connection. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That whole. You
I
know.
get pictures all the time. I get pictures of them doing household duties and pictures of their home. And this one guy was teasing me all the time. You too, Bill. Have a good one.
Yeah. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill. So he was teasing me to try and find him. And what I
hmm
found out about him was he was in the United States illegally, and his
Yeah.
family never even knew.
Hmm.
So I brought that information out to him, and the family's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
he falsified all the information on his citizen
Yeah.
papers."
Yeah. But that in itself, I mean, being, maybe part of it too is like a researcher medium. You know what I mean? That
Mhm.
you can. That's how you connect with your research spirit in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I was looking for a researcher for any of my paranormal team a few years ago, it's like, where were you? I went through three researchers before I just said I'm done.
Well,
Because
see, we had to wait until I was ready.
right, right.
Yeah,
So
we had to
yeah,
wait until I was baked.
yeah, yeah.
I had
That
to. I
could
had to
that
finish
could
work.
go two different ways.
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah,
Pardon me
yeah.
while I go
Somebody
cough.
just tuning in would be like, "What did she just say? Baked?" uh, what, Wendy?
Oh God, Wendy's
You
being
said
his.
duties. I'm so
Wendy's giving me a
immature.
problem.
Mm,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
I love doing the research, and it just digging into the very depths of it is one of my favorite things to do.
hmm hmm
I can do it all day long.
Yeah. I love to do research too, but I just I can go down a rabbit hole very easily. I did my family's research on like my ancestry. I went back pretty far,
Yeah, I'm
but
down to the 1500s now.
yeah, I on my dad's mom's side, I got down to the 1500s, and I had it came from the Anderson clan from Scotland, and yeah, it was really cool because uh, basically my relative was uh, guarding the king.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
nice.
yeah, back then,
Nice.
which would have been um, um, Mary, Queen of Scots' son, who was the king.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I
It,
have no I have an idea as to what one of the lives was, but I it's I
I live to make
she
people
says I
laugh.
live to make people
You
laugh.
you're all are fun.
No,
Well, and
to be
that's the
quite
way it is.
frankly, to be quite frank, I'm pretty sure in a previous life I was either a madam or a prostitute.
Hmm. I don't know if I would even say
I was
that.
something around that area. Well, when I went into Virginia City for the first time, Virginia City, Nevada,
Which is my all-time favorite place that I need to
dude,
go to.
you want to go? I'll go with you,
Oh my
hands
gosh.
down. When I
Yeah,
first
there's
went into that town, I knew where everything was. I'd never been there. I'd never researched it. Nothing. I knew where all the streets were. I knew where all the
yeah,
buildings were. I knew where everything was. I knew who everybody was.
yeah.
Yeah, you told me a story, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. You know,
It's funny because I have a recurring vision and certain times I know during the year of me walking into a saloon and I've been there
mm-hmm.
constantly.
Yep.
The old West to me is that to me that's where it's at. Don't get me wrong, I
Virginia
like
City
the
is all that
50s,
for
I
me.
like I like Sinatra, I like, Dean Martin, all that Vegas, but when it comes to the old West,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's why I was so attached to the Oregon Trail. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure at some point I was on the Oregon Trail too,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I know everything about it.
Wendy says no comment.
Wendy's too funny.
Uh-huh. She knows you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she does. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wendy, what am I getting myself into?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but
You
yeah,
picked
so
me. That's all
yeah,
I'm gonna say.
that
You picked me.
that's
You're stuck with me now.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, Chuck
Yeah,
and Wendy lived in Reno forever.
yeah,
Wendy and I met. No, we met at North Lake Tahoe. We met at the Biltmore.
nice. Yeah.
I wish we would have been able to do Virginia City with her. That would have been fun.
Oh my gosh,
But it's like the
that's
one
like
thing
radar
great
overload.
about the one thing great about Virginia City is everybody embraces the fact that they're haunted. All the
Yeah,
store
yeah,
owners,
yeah,
all the
yeah.
citizens, everybody, they embrace the fact that they've got ghosts running around. And it's one of the great it's like the playground for anybody that does paranormal investigations. It's
Mhm,
flipping awesome.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. I totally would. I just that's one of my favorite. Michelle LeBaron. I don't know if you've
Yeah,
heard of
Michelle
her.
LeBaron,
Okay,
I
yeah,
know her.
she's
Yeah.
she's been there several times, and she lives close by. That she's
Yeah,
been
she
saying
does.
that she's been invited me several times.
Right.
You know, but it's funny
Yep,
when you were talking about
2018.
the old west. Um, I love like like the Wyatt Earp era and all that stuff, and the
Mm-hmm.
stories, and I am a big fan of Doc Holliday and his life story, and how he, you know, came you know came to the West and this and that. And there was one day I was talking with a friend of mine, and I was like really thinking about him, and I'm like, yeah, that's one person that I would really like to connect with, because I know that he hasn't crossed yet, and I know not really exactly where he's at, but it's in the hills close to where he passed in Colorado. And I was like, God, that would be one person that I would like to interview on my show. That would just be, fantastic. This and that.
Right.
I went to bed that night, and I laid there, and I wasn't even asleep yet. And I closed my eyes, and here this face of uh, Doc Holliday rushes up and really makes me jump back, and like, what the hell? And he basically said, "What do you want?" And I was like, "I was just thinking about you. That's all. I was just thinking about you." And he was just kind of like right there. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's moments like that that I've had people kind of shove their face into my face, and yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
So
The encounters, I've not trained myself to use my talents, use my gifts.
hmm
I just use them.
hmm
And there's times when you just get completely overloaded with somebody.
right.
And
Oh
I
yeah. Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
keep crystals around for that kind of thing.
Right. 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 Yeah. I mean,
It's like today I wore my protection bracelets because I didn't know where this was gonna go.
right. Right. Yeah. And I have a very good necklace that was made by another medium, a friend of mine. Um, and she, she's awesome, and I really I never take it off, and I hope that one day it doesn't fall off. you
Yeah.
know, but
Well, when it does
I,
fall off, it's done its job, and then it's time to get
right.
something
Oh,
else.
that's true.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just don't want it to fall into somebody's salad or something at work, and be like, "What is this? That's not
I
mine.
was
It's yours now."
Gina wore her Moldavite, and I'm like, wow, you're a braver girl.
Right?
Jeez, I wouldn't.
hmm
There's no way I would wear Moldavite.
Yeah.
No, I have it. It's sitting on my
Yeah.
altar right now, but every now and then I check to make sure it hasn't gone on a walkabout.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have a propensity to leave and come back.
Yeah.
Some of them come back, some of them don't come back.
Right. Well, I think we've kind of gone over our time a little bit,
We
but
have.
that's fine.
It was due to technical difficulties.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yes.
true. But we'll kind of recap here, because I know I have to get ready for that investigation tonight, and I have to charge my equipment, because if I don't, then I'll be in trouble.
Oh, you
So,
should have charged equipment last night. You always have to charge the equipment the night before because if something happens, you have to be
well,
able to
this
go
is
out and
this
get
is
something.
true, but I was at work, and I worked 12 hours, and so I didn't have time to do
All
something.
right, fine, fine, fine.
Yeah, yeah. And my wife doesn't like stuff all over the place. She hates clutter. So, yeah.
Do you have a
I
room?
no,
So you need a room.
no. I have downstairs basement, but it's not feasible, So I'm gonna confiscate the dining room
Oh.
today, this afternoon, and I had that last week when I was getting ready for all my stuff and picking and choose what I was gonna use tonight for my investigation. I picked it out last week, and I had it all over the place. And she come in, she was like, "Oh my god!" She's like, "What did you do?" And I'm like, I'll clean it up." She's like, "Yeah, you will." So yeah.
Well, that's one nice thing about living alone. I don't have anybody that bugs me about but I'm not messy. I mean, the worst I get is a basket of laundry that needs folded in the living room. That's about as
Right.
worst as it gets. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I've got 3 bedrooms. One's my bedroom, one's
Nice.
my office, and then one is my exercise room that
Oh,
I might use at some point.
might use it at some point. It's there
Well,
collecting dust for a good reason.
yeah, yeah. I got an elliptical in there because it's the only thing that I like to do. But it's like, I don't know. I don't know what it is that just I got a block about exercising. I love walking. I just
Right.
dearly love walking, but there's no place to walk around here.
I'm gonna buy a bike, a
Yeah, buy a
bicycle.
bike. Well,
No, I
mine's a
need
lot bigger.
yeah. Yours is a lot bigger. Yeah, I have not. I
And mine goes
believe me.
vroom vroom.
Right. Believe me, I would love to have a bike like yours, but no.
Oh,
As far as
I love it.
my wife is alive, no way.
Well,
No.
I looked at all of that and everybody's like, "Oh, you're a woman, you're gonna." Well, no, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with I rode dirt bikes as a kid, and it's an entirely different experience than riding a big old Harley. But
Right.
I love it. I just love it. The wind in my face, the sights, the smells. Oh, the smells are
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I
there goes a
bet.
dead body.
There you go. What was
What
that?
was that?
Yeah. Yeah,
Thank goodness
right.
I know the difference between a human dead body and an animal dead
And
body. So,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
but yeah, I love my motorcycle. In fact, I think I might get to ride this Thursday because the weather's going to be nice.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's the smells. The smells are awesome.
Nice.
And then
All
you
right.
pass over
Well,
new asphalt, and it's yeah. We've got a Freedom. Freedom is the name of my bike.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. Very nice.
her name's been Freedom since the day I saw her.
Awesome. All right.
Been
Well, let's
2 years.
let's wrap this up so we
Okay,
can get going here because
cool.
I've seen the repeat of numbers 111 and 1111 twice today.
And we just went to 111 and now it's
Yeah.
111. It's 111:55 was when I
Yeah.
looked at it. Yeah.
Nice.
Fives are big for me. Fives are very big for me.
Mhm. Totally. So everybody, thank you again for tuning in and hanging out with us.
Yeah.
And we will, and I think that we'll be doing this again. you
Well, come
know,
back next week when we
they come
have
back next week, and yeah, it'd be like a really bad infomercial.
come back next week when we have
yeah,
the results of the live investigation that's going to happen tonight.
right, right. So yeah, so thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will. This was going to be fun, and
This
I
will be
can't
fun.
wait. Yeah, I can't wait to really get going with this. So tune in tonight. I'm trying to go live at 8, so everybody that was here today can tune in and share out all the stuff about the investigations. We'd like to have a lot of people on
That will
here.
be fun.
So Kelly will be manning the home base of cameras, so she will be doing that from her home location, and I will be in Wisconsin and setting up all my cameras and getting thing all working
I
order
still
and
don't
hope.
know how I'm going to be doing this.
I don't know. We'll we'll,
I don't
we'll
know.
find out. We'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
we'll figure it out.
I like to say we'll
With my
wing it, but
technical incapacity.
yeah, but if we wing it, then it would be just like this podcast, this first one, we just winged it, So
We'll
everything
wing it.
everything everything went well, So I'm hoping that everything will go well tonight. But what I've been on different investigations. This will be one that I haven't been on for a while, so I'm looking forward to it. So yeah,
You got to keep doing it or you get out of practice.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, I have to tell my wife that.
Don't forget to make a mark as to what equipment is where.
Oh yeah, that's what I got to
That's
do.
the thing that I
See?
have a problem with is I put voice recorders places and I forget to mark down where I got it. So it's like I have no idea where I got this EVP.
Yeah, that's a good idea. yeah.
Yeah, all my equipment's labeled and numbered and all this kind of stuff. And it's like,
No,
okay,
I
these
would have forgotten that today if you hadn't said that.
haha. See, I'm
See?
helpful.
You are helpful. All
All right.
right. All right, everybody. Thank you again,
Thank you.
and we'll talk to
Have a good
you
one.
soon. And everybody, this audio will be uploaded probably today or tomorrow on every audio podcast platform you can find. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Peace.